Batavia down. Win more, lots more.
Folks, what a weekend of wrestling we just had. In case you missed it, we're here to wrap it all up, put a bow on it, and talk even more, because this is the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It is not wrestling with your conscience. This is wrestling with emotion. And our panel has a lot of emotions after this past weekend. Star-studded affair. We have a new AEW World Champion. Cope is back. Goldberg is retired. And a new Women's World Heavyweight Champion as well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you know him. You love him. The Prophet, Rob Ryan. And, of course, our head of the table, Michael Partham. Lads, what a weekend it was. Start me off. Immediate reactions, emotions coming out of the weekend, not so much after Monday Night Raw last night.
You know, what a weekend. It started off hot with All In. It may have been a little long, but unlike other AEW pay-per-views, didn't feel that long. I think most of the matches were very well done. Maybe there was a few that could have been shorter, that also maybe could have been longer, but because of the other ones, you couldn't really do that. But I think it ended off hot with a very good Texas Death Match. It had the storylines that we were all looking for, and it wasn't overdone. And then going into obviously Saturday night's main event, that was a miss. It was kind of like, oh man, what the hell are we watching after that? And then going into Sunday, I think the women put on a show. I think that could have been the best WWE pay-per-view of the year so far. And I definitely think, especially the ending, I was definitely sports entertained. And I think they definitely need to do Evolution more than once every, 7 years. So I think it was a very well done weekend, and I think both companies put on shows.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the reports that All In actually exceeded WrestleMania 35, I believe, the longest wrestling pay-per-view in history. So I gotta say, it was a little bit long in the tooth just by itself. Never mind the fact that NXT was running simultaneous to it, and we got Saturday night's. It ran an hour into Saturday night's main event, but there were maybe one or two matches we could have done without, or that could have been pre-show matches. But there were some emotional hits, like seeing Adam Cole's virtual retirement. He was persuaded not to retire, but he was kind of choked up about what he had to do, essentially relinquish the TNT title for issues we're not exactly clear on right now. Some people are saying concussion issues. Wouldn't surprise us given his past history. But a nice feel-good win for Dustin Rhodes. A nice feel-good comeback for Adam Copeland, even though he had to pose a little bit before he made the save for his former friend. Once we got to Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks, that's where I feel the All In really stepped up its game. The pace stepped up. And the three main events, I would say, even though a couple of them I missed on, I would say I gladly missed on them, especially after all these months of predicting, well, Moxley's got to retain because it's going to All In. At the very least, it's going on All In. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm glad they did the right thing and end it in epic fashion with a nice little end game amount of like run-ins and running interference, and Swerve and Hangman had their moment. It was, you know what? Let's play the clip. It was
They call this cinema. They call this cinema. They call this cinema.
Jesus Christ, Marthy.
I don't know what happened. It hit repeat. I was just trying to click it once for crying out loud.
Once the intern hits a simple check of the loop button, it's too much for Parthy to figure out.
Okay.
Even though he's an engineer. Yeah, no, I'm just giving you shit.
Whatever. Okay, so
the appropriate use of the button, though. I although we didn't need it 3 times, I agree that.
Well, there was like 2 or 3 nice cinema moments, so maybe All In earned it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So going into Saturday night's main event, it was hit and miss, and a lot more misses than hits. I think they did what they needed to do in order to hype up the Jelly Roll Randy Orton match for SummerSlam, the tag match going into SummerSlam. Solo Sikoa retains over Jimmy Uso. Jacob Fatu runs in. Whatever. Seth Rollins. Should we get into Seth Rollins right now and the whole situation surrounding his injury?
I just real quick touch on the Goldberg stuff. Both.
Okay,
you.
sure.
Like,
And Goldberg,
like obviously
Goldberg's match. Let me just say Goldberg's match.
well, to talk about the match itself, both of you, and then like obviously the aftermath, the whole thing. You guys probably both heard what Goldberg said, I'm sure, on Ariel Helwani's show. Just reactions based on the match, and then the afterthoughts as well.
I mean, for a Goldberg match to run nearly 15 minutes is a pretty much an achievement in itself for Goldberg. We haven't seen that in maybe, I don't know, decades or something. And I mean, he did sort of no-sell Gunther's chop, which he said he apologized for afterwards. But that's a Goldberg thing. He's no-sold a lot of things in his career. I think they worked it pretty well. I think they protected even Goldberg, even going into retirement. You know, the spear and the jackhammer. Oh, the ref was a little late getting there. He was a little late getting to the cover, so they protected him a little bit. But ultimately, Gunther had to go over. As far as what Goldberg said afterwards, I mean, he's not wrong. But a guy in his position, especially with not having the best history with Triple H, and they had no reason to give him this except to pop a rating on Saturday Night's Main Event. In my opinion, Goldberg should be grateful he even got a send-off of any kind, really. I mean, the last few matches that he's had, you know, popping up here and there were not the best things to behold, especially with Undertaker and a couple other things, taking titles off of guys that never should have lost the titles. Yeah, I mean, they were up against it with NBC, you know, giving him a hard out. So maybe blame NBC more than WWE and their pacing. But then again, with Seth Rollins' injury, they should have gotten plenty of time to, you know, pace out the commercials and give him a little bit of more of a speech at the end. But maybe they didn't plan on that the whole time, so they just went by what they had planned. As far as what he had to say afterwards, I mean, I would have said he says he's got more to say in 2 weeks. So I would say wait 2 more weeks before you say anything at all.
But can we talk about how Charles Robinson might have a cracked rib?
That too. And he says, oh, it's no big deal. Charles Robinson's broken his ribs before. That's not what you're supposed to do, Bill. Rob, talk.
Yeah, I think we were all hoping that it was one of those classic 5-minute Goldberg matches. I think they did pretty well for a 15-minute Goldberg match. I think it had it had a nice pace where it didn't feel like it was too long, like some Goldberg matches do, because he only has two moves. So I think it was very well done. I almost want to say it wasn't supposed to be that long. I think the whole Seth injury, which we'll get into, probably extended that. There was a lot of commercials, but I do think the ending, it was NBC, and I don't know. I feel like I don't think they really needed to do that to begin with. I thought it was kind of odd how they went to commercial and came back for only 20 seconds. I feel like that could have just been done off the camera like other shows do. When the show ends, they still talk to the crowd. I don't think we really needed to see it on there. And then his comments after the fact, I mean, it's Goldberg. He's had controversial stuff said throughout his whole career. I don't take any of it. His whole thing, breaking character, laughing because he thought the chop would hurt more. It's like, we all know that they're not actually hitting him. What the hell what is he talking about? Like, I expected it to hurt more, so I laughed. Like, shut up, Goldberg. And then the whole, I'm blah, blah, I'm not happy. Could have been more classier. No one wants you. No one really, sure, you were over, but no one's begging to see Goldberg in the year 2025. So you had your final match. It's more than what some other people have. We haven't seen farewell matches for half the guys that probably more. I mean, Goldberg was one of the best in his time, but I think there was more deserving people that have farewell matches that never had farewell matches. And I'll have more to say in 2 weeks. No one's going to want to hear you say in 2 weeks.
I was just going to get to that, yeah.
Like, I don't care what you have to say. I didn't have to care what you said Saturday night. I don't have to care what you say in 2 weeks. I don't have to care what you say in 2 years.
Did Goldberg want a full retirement tour this year? Because they kind of already have one of those going on.
It's funny you say that, because when he's bitching about all this stuff, he's like, they're not going to do that to Taker. They're not going to do that to Cena. Cena's getting a full retirement tour. It's like, yeah, dude, because you're not John Cena. And then all he does, all this talking to damper even further his image after when the cracked rib comes out. Then he's complaining that he was on set. It wasn't even on a PLE. And it's like, dude, you weren't even the WWE guy. You were WCW. He did touch on that. I'll give him that. But then it's like, no, I'm happy with the match. I'm worthy with it. And then he's like, oh, and also they offered my son some NIL money. I'm not going to say how much, but I said no on behalf of him. It's like, Bill, what the hell are you doing right now? You didn't need to bring your son into this, let alone keep complaining yourself and give Bret Hart more fuel to the fire. This just makes me think, as the host of the show, that we should have, even more now than ever, a clip of Bret Hart ready at our availability to just go Bill Goldberg, just to like blame anyone whenever we have nothing else to do. So I think
I'm on it.
Well, Parthy's on it. Someone's got to be on it. And
here, I got a great video for Bill Goldberg right now. You want something? Well, too goddamn bad.
You get nothing.
Facts. Yeah, he really doesn't deserve anything. Yeah, Maniac as Tony Storm joining us on the road, it appears. We were just talking about
Hold on, I gotta go off cam.
Yeah, please, for the respect of our viewers. We were just talking about the atrocity that is Bill Goldberg and his retirement situation, if you have any thoughts.
I mean, it was a disaster beginning to end. It made no sense that Goldberg would ever be able to challenge Gunther. Absolute joke right there. I mean, the fact that Gunther, like the crowd's chanting "you tapped out at him." Paul made some mistakes with Gunther at this point. Can it be salvaged? We'll see. This is definitely a step towards making that. It was kind of tough to me because I didn't like that Gunther was putting over Goldberg so much, but then WWE did cut off his retirement speech, so. It's just mad funny. He compares himself in the WWE pantheon to Cena and Taker. That's just not the case, buddy. So that's my only take.
That's what I was just saying. I literally said the exact words. You are not John Cena, nor are you Undertaker. So it's a great point. Partham, what do you got?
One little thing that they could have done differently in the short amount of time that they booked this match is, I mean, yeah, why would Goldberg get a championship match, especially in a retirement match? Have Goldberg challenge Gunther, saying, I was waiting for the right time. I want to challenge you in Atlanta to get back for the mean stuff you said about me and my family months ago. And Gunther could just say, and I've heard this suggested, you say, I don't have a reason to give you a retirement match. You got to put something on the line. You got to put your career on the line. And that would have made it a little bit more interesting. It would have made more sense. But no, let's just give Goldberg a title match. Good thinking, huh?
Triple H, real creative.
Oh my God, perfect video for that perfect scenario. But yeah, I mean, speaking of WWE being the ones to do something like that too, that's right up their alley. But instead, they're just no, out of pure sympathy, we're going to give Bill Goldberg a retirement match in Atlanta, but it's going to be on a glorified house show. I digress. I think that's as much as we need to talk about it. Hopefully we don't see Bill Goldberg again, and hopefully we don't hear about him again unless it's from Bret Hart's bitching mouth.
You hear Bret Hart saying that he would have cut him off at his entrance?
Oh yeah, dude, Bret Hart probably would have put him in a sharpshooter to not let him out of Gorilla if he was in charge. But nonetheless, speaking of the train wreck that was Saturday night's main event as well, we had an unfortunate mishap that many thought maybe it was part of the plan. Didn't appear to be when you really broke it down slow-mo reaction-wise from Seth himself, from fans, people backstage. You had Triple H at the Evolution post-show saying it did not look good. Reports are coming in that the knee was too swollen to do an MRI thus far, if I'm correct.
That's what I heard.
So guys, just your immediate thoughts. I mean, it sucks not only an amazing talent like Seth Rollins, but a guy with holding the Money in the Bank briefcase and is leading one of the top factions in the WWE. They had a lot of creative plans for. But before anyone gets into any reaction, our run-in, our Ultimate Warrior run-in, per usual, the voice of reason, Ernie Green. Ernie, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Sorry I'm late.
It's all good. Why don't you start us off? Just unfortunate stuff with the Rollins situation. We don't really know a whole lot of information yet, but where do you think this will lead us, how it'll change creatively, and what it means for Seth and the WWE?
Well, it really sucks the WWE because I think that the best thing going is Seth. One of the best things going is Seth Rollins in WWE and his quest with the briefcase. It would be kind of funny if just if Punk wins at SummerSlam the SummerSlam, and Rollins just out of pure spite, despite having one leg, tries to cash in because he hates CM Punk so much. Or like, the two, Bronson and Braun attack Punk after the match where Punk is just laid out and one-legged Rollins cashes in and beats him and has to forfeit the title right after because of his injury. But he hates Punk so much that he's okay with that. There's a lot of things they can do if he's injured. They could either do that or they can take him off TV and they could get rid of the briefcase, which I don't think they're going to do. And they could have like a ladder match at the SummerSlam to have the new briefcase winner. So there's a lot of ways this is not ideal, but as they say in poker, there's a lot of outs. So I'm actually intrigued to see how they handle this because they can do a couple things logically and creatively that would make sense.
Perfect timing too, because Maniac's obviously a Seth Rollins guy and not much of a CM Punk guy. And I am one that kind of thinks that Punk may have gotten shoved into a certain spot because of this. Maniac, what are your thoughts and takes on the injury? Obviously,
this is why I'm allowed to bask in the Barmageddon debacle because it happened. It was undeniable. They had an option to keep Barmageddon from coming on the TV, but they decided to let it go. In this case, I think they actually were lining up CM Punk for this world heavyweight shot. I believe it was 2-3 weeks ago. He came down to confront Rollins, and he pushed down Gunther as kind of like a little side of it all. And it didn't make Gunther look good then, and it doesn't make Gunther look good now, but we'll see what happens. But I think they've been setting this up. This specifically was not because Rollins. Now, I do think that the OTC's return on Monday was supposed to be around Rollins, for sure. Rollins was clearly supposed to be in that mix, but he was not.
Before Parthy goes, I have a nice clip for Maniac because, he brought up his favorite scene of WWE of all time.
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired and I work with fucking children.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
AEW could have conquered the world if CM Punk wasn't all about himself.
AEW could have conquered the world if the Young Bucks weren't all about themselves. But regardless, I have a couple of updates. Well, I have one because Slick already touched on what Rollins said on, I believe, the Rich Eisen show, where he said he had swelling in his knees. He's going to get another MRI in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's right around time for the SummerSlam. What a coinkydink. And Heyman was intentionally a little bit vague when he was asked about an injury update. I mean, if it was serious, Michael Cole would have given the injury update like in an interim between the matches right at the commentary desk. At least that's what I was anticipating. They were going to push it off to later in the show, make people watch until they got the update. But they asked Paul Heyman in character about the injury, and Heyman says, well, he's still getting evaluated here. And by the way, he's still holding on to the briefcase. He's got 1 year to do it. So reminding you that there's not going to be another briefcase holder in the interim or whatever, or it's not going to get transferred over to someone else. But here's the thing. Now, I'm not sure about, how legit this guy's sources are. I'm not as familiar with him as like SRS at Fightful or WrestleVulture, etc. But a guy named John Pollock from Post Wrestling said he was told 2 days prior to Saturday night's main event on Thursday from someone in the know, he says.
I saw it.
You saw this. Okay.
Bullshit I've ever read.
It could be, but
it is intriguing.
He was not told after. He was told beforehand. So he says that there was going to be an injury
up on the
angle.
screen if it's a paragraph. Like, come on here.
It was on. I think it was on a YouTube show. But he has a YouTube show, Post Wrestling. He was told there was going to be an injury angle with Seth Rollins on Saturday night's main event, and then it was going to involve him being on crutches. Now, we haven't seen Seth Rollins on crutches, but the reports say he's on crutches. We haven't seen him on screen on Raw, in crutches in the back, with Heyman and his whole group and whatever. So, I mean, when I saw it happen, I don't know about you guys, when he does the flip and he lands right on his feet, I thought he landed pretty square. He didn't seem to tweak anything or buckle anything. Maybe the speculation was, the injury happened either in a past match and they're doing this as a cover because it's a minor procedure. So they ran an injury angle to cover up for a minor injury. I don't know. It could go like
Are you listening to yourself?
I'm trying to get all the
I love you, but
speculation and all the
let's
facts.
just face it. When it happened, it made no fucking sense what happened on TV. It was a legitimate injury. For the fact that Sean Ross dumbass is going like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, is legit or a work. What an idiot, honestly. What a numbskull that he even put that tweet out there. The more I see material from Sean Ross Sapp, I don't even know how he got in the position he's in. But whatever.
I think just the biggest proof in the pudding that we need is that LA Knight won that match. I mean, did anyone really think that was supposed to happen?
Well, he looked pretty upset for a guy that won, so yeah.
The match ending on TV made 0 sense for that entire 90 seconds. There was that's the biggest smoking gun of the entire situation. That there's they did an injury angle and now they got a hot new angle coming out of it. Like, what are you talking about? That was a dead in the water ending that didn't help anybody.
If it was a legit injury, wouldn't they do the X thing, or is that like overdone and they're not going to do it anymore?
That's way overdone.
They don't do that anymore.
I mean, people have worked that at this point.
What I think the whole thing about how people don't know if it's actually real or if it's just kayfabe is that briefcase, because that plays a whole factor into this whole thing. Because they're trying to just keep him off camera to have a heist of the century 2.0 now that Punk is in that not main event, but he's in that match. Like, they're playing into both factors right now, and no one will know until probably SummerSlam when that match is over and he doesn't show up. I think that's when all the different theories will finally be put to bed, if he's actually hurt or if it's just a kayfabe. So I think for the next 2 weeks, we're going to hear this, because I don't think he's going to show up in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be all the way up until the SummerSlam, when we actually know if Seth Rollins is actually hurt or if he's not. So that's the only issue. That's because I feel like if there was no briefcase, everyone would have been, no one would have been thinking it was fake, because then it would have made no sense at all. I think that briefcase is hurting everyone's minds of thinking, oh, is this just kayfabe? Because it would play perfectly into Heist of the Century 2.0. So I think we just have to wait and see. But I'm leaning towards real, just because it makes no sense, because you could have easily had the biggest match of the SummerSlam with Seth and Roman. So I'm leaning real, but we actually won't know probably until SummerSlam comes.
If it's a work, then what's our opinion on it? Did they overdo it?
If it's a work, it makes no fucking sense, is where I'm at.
I think they're trying to go, like I said, with
on Raw, where Rollins was saying, his crew was saying, where is he? And Heyman says, well, he's coming up with plan B. But why would he need to be on a private jet to come up with the fake injury angle? That's one question I had for that.
Why does he need to be off screen in the first place?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Rob said the magic words, so I'll get right into it. He said the Heist of the Century 2.0. So takeaways from Evolution, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Is this the greatest women's cash-in ever? Go around the horn, first to the Prophet.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said earlier in the show, Evolution Evolution 2 was probably the best pay-per-view that WWE put on all year long to date. I think every match hit. I think every woman on that card put on a show, and well deserved. That I think they need to probably have 2 of these a year, if not just 1 a year. We can't wait 7 years. And then go into the main event. Oh my, Rhea and Io were putting on a banger. Just one night after Tony and Mercedes put on a banger, we had a WWE banger. I think it was probably one of the better women's matches of all time in WWE. And literally no one. I called it Heist of the Century. Maybe it's Heist of the Century 3.0 if it happens at SummerSlam, because this was Heist of the Century 2.0. And like I said in the chat earlier this week, typically at least someone in our group or someone online has a theory that something may happen. No one was talking about this. What a job well done from everyone from creative all the way down to the wrestlers in play. Wow. Just wow. And now that banger we're going to have at SummerSlam, I'm excited for.
Yeah, see, typically women's cash-ins have happened within a month or two or so. They typically happen pretty darn quick with very few exceptions. But you usually expect who the Money in the Bank holder is going to cash in on as far as the women. And even though they keep it a surprise. I think Liv catching on Ronda Rousey, that was a pretty big shocking moment. But still, you almost anticipated going in. We thought we anticipated what Naomi was going to do with that briefcase, and not only did we not anticipate who she was going to cash in on, we didn't even anticipate when she was going to cash in. So I think, especially that we thought that Jade Cargill versus Naomi at Evolution was just going to be the appetizer for SummerSlam. It turned out to be the blow-off match for at least their feud for the time being, and Naomi just transitioned seamlessly over to Raw and gives them a nice top heel other than Becky Lynch in the women's division. So I think it's great.
Can we name the 7 other cash-ins?
Carmella against Charlotte.
That's the first one.
Io Sky against Rhea.
Bianca.
No, that's on Bianca.
We were there. Come on,
that was
Slick.
6. Yeah, that's tough.
We were there.
It was.
Yeah, he has to get removed
yeah.
after that one. Unfortunately,
Tiff
he was there. He was there.
Tiff versus Nia.
Tiff versus
Yep, I was there for
Nia.
that.
Did we say Liv on Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, that's what. That's
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was sorry. I was kicked out.
I said
What's
it before.
that?
You were here the whole time. You're forgetting someone who is not in her same.
Wasn't
character now.
Alexa versus
Alexa cashed in on
Nia.
during a match
Nia
of
Ronda
Nia and
match.
Ronda.
Nikki ASH.
Nikki
Oh
ASH.
my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Was that
Yeah,
on?
I mean-
was that on Rhea?
But
That was on
that
Charlotte
was on
also.
Charlotte.
That was on
Basically,
Charlotte, yeah.
all
God,
of these,
Charlotte's
all of these
even
are
worse.
Ronda or Charlotte, basically, for the first 5. So you got 4 of the first 5. Then you got Io Sky, Tiffy, and Naomi. Who is the one we're missing in there? She's still on the roster. She was a champion within the last 2 years.
Is it Becky?
Was it Bailey?
It was Bailey at Money
Was
in the
Bayley.
Bank.
Yep. Good call.
2019. So it was before COVID, long time ago. But yes, women's cash-ins are 8 for 8. I think when you look at that list, and we just went through them all, I like, was this an amazing cash-in? No, but I think it was the GOAT, just on how unexpected it was and how quick it happened. You can't tell me that when she got down there limping and there was a little back and forth with the rings, that you didn't think that maybe she might not get it off and there might be some other hijinks. But then she cashes it in and it happens in a blink.
You
It
heard
was hilarious that she didn't hear the
ring
bell
the
the first time.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah, they ring it
not
twice.
Not hearing it was a good botch. Honestly, it
Yeah.
made it more real. It made it like chaotic, like for sure.
It did bother me at first a little bit how like Io just made her way perfectly to the ropes, but like I'm not complaining anymore. I've watched it back enough times, and like you just said, Maniac, the botch kind of helped them in that regard. Give Naomi a brief buffer to go back, scream something, give Io another extra second, and then bring in the briefcase with the camera angle to it as well. Ernie, what did you think?
Fun fact: the last 2 cash-ins were one with a moonsault.
Oh wow, you're right.
Yeah. I'm mad because that broke my personal two-time streak of getting to see it in person, the cash-in. So I got to see Io and then Tiffy in person, but that's just a personal thing. I'm obviously just kidding about. It was a great cash-in because, again, like not a soul suspected that.
Yeah.
I don't even think Jimmy Uso suspected that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, it was such a great spontaneous moment, and especially because like she's on SmackDown feuding and she went after the Raw title. I think the match at the SummerSlam is going to be an absolute banger of a match, and I think what Io and Rhea are going to do, I think she'll win with some sort of tomfoolery. Like she's not going to win totally clean, but I think the 2 wrestlers in this company who can really elevate Naomi to a level that of Rhea and Io and into a bigger stratosphere are those 2. I think after the SummerSlam, like she's going to be an even bigger star on an even bigger pedestal thanks to working that match with those 2.
I think it's deserving after the banger that those 2 put on Saturday night. I think it's deserving of the night 1 main event. But
Agreed.
We'll see.
What I really liked about Io and Rhea's match was a ref bump came out of nowhere, and these are 2 people that don't rely on outside help to win. You didn't know what was going to happen at that point. All it was basically an excuse for them to brawl out into the crowd and take this from a 2nd level to a 3rd level, and then they get back in the ring, and then they're both down. And the cash in happens.
But that is very true, Partham. I was shocked when the ref bump, not only a ref bump, like one of Io's devastating drop kicks. That's not to be reckoned with either. We could have had another referee with a cracked rib there on the weekend. Shout out to Bill Goldberg, the unsafe worker. But nonetheless, we
Shout out to Charles Robinson. What a month for his bumps.
Dude, dead ass. Lil Nate really puts in the work. John Cena less than like a month earlier. So we mentioned the triple threat women's that will take place. We know CM Punk versus Gunther. We'll just touch on this briefly. Anyone have any other predictions of the SummerSlam matches?
Yeah, I was going to touch on where does this leave Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill? Because if the cash-in didn't happen, we had a good idea of where that was going or what was going to happen at the end of it. Now it's kind of a little bit more open. Like, are they going to go with Jade? Or maybe, because people are saying that she still leaves a little to be desired in the ring-wise. So are they going to try and run with the superstar, or are they going to stay with Tiffany for a little bit more?
I think they're going to go with Jade up until for 3 weeks, and then I think Stephanie's going to face Jade, and Stephanie's going to take it. So I think you're going to give Jade the run for a few weeks, and then Stephanie will win it there.
They're going to give Jade a short title run? Wow.
Going to be one of the best future women's wrestlers ever, I think. I mean, more so the ones that aren't booked yet. I think Maniac made a good point. We're probably going to see Roman Reigns, who we'll touch on in a sec, teaming, or let's just touch on him now. Teaming.
I want to say real quick.
Go back. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I could see Naomi having a long run with the title here. I know that sounds crazy, but it feels very eerily reminiscent to Seth Rollins cashing in the first time, where maybe she's not the highest ranked wrestler or whatever, like, and she should probably lose it quick, but her attitude is so like chicken shit in your face, like ridiculous, that like I think that they're gonna like how that plays, especially off like the faces and everything. I think I could see her holding it till the Royal Rumble, as crazy as that sounds.
She's one of those heels that's like also a super villain, which is like perfect kind of heel. Which this guy was seemingly at a point as well. Roman Reigns back on TV, came back 2 nights ago, Monday Night Raw, to confront back up Jey Uso, CM Punk, and this was against Braun and Bronson, saving from the tsunami. And I think what I was getting to, Maniac kind of alluded to, this is probably leading to Roman, Jey versus the Bronze at SummerSlam. But anyway, how do we all just feel about Roman Reigns being back on TV? It's not like he hasn't been gone 6 freaking months and only wrestled 2 matches since November 2024.
The singles match stat was a little jarring.
2023, I believe. Yeah.
Well, unlike some people, I do not agree that he was a channel changer on Monday, because the crowd, he came out to a thunderous ovation. Honestly, he came out to a bigger ovation than I even thought he would. And you know how over he is, and he came out, and he's still the top guy in the company. Whether people, he's still the moneymaker. He's still the guy making $15 million a year. I think that he's going to have the trilogy with Cody at WrestleMania. I think he can good stand. He's a good early Royal Rumble predictor. Him and Jay being together makes perfect sense. I wonder if it would have been a 6-man tag with Roman and Punk having to be like reluctant friends to take on Heyman's goons. At the SummerSlam, a 6-man, but they had to pivot because of Punk. Who knows? But I just think there's no 2 more popular wrestlers in this world right now than Jay and Roman, and there's nobody more hated right now than Paul Heyman for what he did. So it just those factors, without the match itself, no matter how good the match is going to be, it's probably going to be a banger because there's 4 really good wrestlers in there with 4 good characters. There's no way that match doesn't miss at the SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird that Roman has to take on Seth's goons that he never really has encountered as Seth's goons up until this point, because that whole thing got formed after Roman, took his annual vacation.
Well, didn't
I know
Braun was there.
Braun was the night after, right?
Roman was there.
Roman was on the Raw after Mania.
That was his last appearance.
Yeah, I think that was the last appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, when he speared Roman the day after Mania.
All right. I was forgetting that. But I mean, that Seth was supposed to be the target all along, and obviously things have changed for whatever reasons they might be. But Heyman was the betrayer, not Seth. He's had it in for Seth, of course, for decades now. So he's really just trying to go through Braun to get to Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of it was 2 days late, but I was saying he was going to show up on Saturday. Maybe he was supposed to before the Seth injury, because I do think there was going to be a cash-in attempt, especially.
I could see that for sure. That I totally believe could have been in the works.
Yeah, so the Prophet's always right, and the Prophet was right. Kind of an injury just kind of
Right.
derailed that situation. But going to Monday night, just like we were sports entertained on Sunday night, we were also sports entertained on Monday night. We were saying in the chat, we all thought it was going to be during the match, especially when Bronson came out. Especially on me in the chat, I was getting very upset. I thought it was over. I thought the OTC was never returning again. And then once the match ended, here comes Bronson again to start attacking. And then you knew it was like, wait, here he comes. And the pop, I mean, Mr. Changed the Channel. Are we kidding? That is the most over guy in not just WWE. He is the most over guy in all of wrestling right now. And there's no denying that. So Mr. Change the Channel, that guy, I think I'm going to change the channel when I'm watching his shows next. But keep going. Moving on to SummerSlam, I do think it was supposed to be Seth versus Roman straight up because that is a money-making match. But I think the pivot is also a money-making match with the two over guys in WWE with the cousins, Jay and Roman. You know, the last name Fatu, so you're automatically going to get the spot there, as our good friend Drew McIntyre would say. And then it's two up-and-coming guys in Braun and Bronson who will be top stars just like Jay and Roman in one day. So I'm excited.
Do you have any fears that you thought, Roman might never come back? Well, after the SummerSlam, maybe he goes on another vacation. Well, not so much a vacation, but a working vacation because he's got Street Fighter to worry about. And how long is that going to take?
See you at the Rumble. That'll be nice. Get the fans a little pop at the SummerSlam. Come out on Raw. What's up? Point one's up. See you at the Rumble. See you on the one of 2026.
It must be nice being Roman Reigns.
Great schedule. I mean, dude, even when this guy was full time, he was like every 3 weeks, dude.
Yeah.
He was saying, do you want Seth Rollins money in schedule or Tribal Chief money in schedule?
Shout out everyone tuning in on Instagram. Nicholas G86. Yo. King of Kings holding up the ones, acknowledging our Tribal Chief. Thank you all for tuning in. Folks, it's Wednesday.
Real quick trivia before we go.
Play the bit.
Batavia now is more, lots more.
Thank you, intern.
6 years ago today, Monday Night Raw was in Buffalo, New York.
Wow, on 7/16 day.
Yeah, on 7/16. That is big.
It's huge.
What was the main event? Anyone know?
19.
I'm gonna go with
This was a hot Raw.
Is Daniel Bryan involved?
I probably was
no
back then.
Oh, 2019. Okay.
Who the hell was around in 2019?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing Seth.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. It was 7 years ago, 2018.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Cena.
The Prophet. Oh, recalibrate the Prophet.
So Cena was around still.
So this is one that's going to throw you back. The opening segment was General Manager Kurt Angle coming out and saying that if Brock Lesnar did not defend his WWE Universal title tonight, he would be stripping it from the champion. Oh my God, dude. I cannot even tell you how hot this crowd was for that idea. It was
I don't
crazy.
even remember that happening because I remember, leading up to the rest of WrestleMania, Roman was complaining about that.
So then what happened was they had 2 triple threat matches based on the 6 people that came out to challenge Lesnar. The first triple threat, which was early in the night, was Roman Reigns, McIntyre, and Finn Balor.
Big dog Roman.
Yeah, big dog Roman. This is his yard. You're not gonna be surprised. Roman won that one, and then the triple threat at the end of the night was Bobby Lashley versus Elias versus Seth Rollins.
Wait, so that was the end of the night. Did Brock not end up defending that night?
So what happened was Heyman came out and he begged him not to do it, and he said you can pick a new contender, and then all the contenders came out.
Well,
but I can tell you, if you, I will pull the footage. That was like that crowd when he said he was gonna like vacate the title from Lesnar, because that was the point where Lesnar was at reign status. It was annoying that he wasn't like defending it like every month. It was crazy, but it was going nuts. But anyways, that's our train wreck trivia presented by Batavia Downs. Big night though, 716 night, Dynamite. Did I see that we have 100 stacks on the line in a match?
Yep. Here, let's take a look.
This is what wrestling needs. It needs something that's real. These 4 women fighting for $100,000, Parthy. This is what it's about.
To quote Mike Francesa, oh, who cares?
Yeah, Mike Francesa
dude,
also thought
come
that
on.
Superman sucks, so I know he's a bag of
Right,
garbage.
so,
Well, okay,
we were talking
yeah, I'll
about
give
this-
you that.
Me, Partham, and Rob were talking about this on the show before. What do you guys expect out of Dynamite every time? They just had their biggest show of the year. You can't just keep every storyline going. You got to get some fresh matches, some fresh rivalries, fresh continuity and storylines. But this one, I will say, does not make a boatload of sense at all.
It's kind of just like one of, like I was saying earlier, I think it's just throw the match, just throw whoever you want in matches and really only care about the promos that are going to occur. Because I really don't think any of these matches, the only one that makes sense is the 6-man with the Death Riders versus Hangman, Briscoe, and Hobbs. That is probably the only match that has been advertised today that actually has any storyline associated with it, which I wish it wasn't happening, because, I mean, I think it's time to kind of push the Death Riders aside, let Moxley go on his vacation.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Pull
Yeah,
a
if
nice
anybody
Shield
should
member
be taking 6
vacation.
months off from the Shield, it should be Moxley.
Yeah.
I
Pull
mean,
a-
really
can we,
quickly,
can we like write him off TV tonight? Like, what are we doing here?
What wasn't Moxley supposed to take the vacation like after he lost to Punk in 2023?
Dude,
or
he was
2022?
supposed to take a
And he
vacation.
still
As far as
hasn't
I'm
taken it yet?
concerned, as
Yeah,
far
but
as
he's
I'm
supposed to take it in
concerned, like
2022. Still waiting. Still
3
waiting to
years
take it.
ago. Yeah, crazy. It is interesting. Obviously, we're gonna hear from Timeless Tony Storm. That'll be
Yeah,
Cinema.
because you know why we're going to hear from her? Because she had one of the greatest victories of all time, Parthy.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Good for her.
fun.
But I
Good.
Just to go
It's
back-
just a good for her.
Good for
Something
her.
that we were saying would never happen. Something that we were laying as an impossibility. Creative
I'm glad.
control.
Good for her.
Creative control. Well, Mercedes Moné just controlled the greatest women's match.
Hey,
of
even
summer
Hulk Hogan with his
2025.
creative control lost to Goldberg and a couple other guys in WCW every once in a while. But
It was
Can I
the
just say-
greatest women's match for one night, let's be honest.
okay, can I just say 3 Storm Zeros in a row and Mercedes kicking out of it was fucking ridiculous. That was the only problem I had with the match.
Oh wait, we have one more here. I
That
mean,
was great. That was
mean-
astounding.
I mean,
Who the hell
talk
is Mascara Dorada?
about one I've been waiting for. This is a dream match.
Mascara, some dude in a mask versus Kyle Fletcher.
Mascara Dorada. I'm just kidding. I literally have no idea what's
He's
going
not
on
El
there.
Grande America.
That
And,
last 5 minutes of Monet and Storm.
They call this cinema.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Maniac. That super Storm Zero off the top rope.
Yeah,
Not to be reckoned
legendary.
with.
WWE doesn't even allow the pile driver. AEW is doing it off top rope.
Well,
So
they
we-
sell the power
After
driver when
three,
it
in
happens.
after 3 in a row, too.
Oh, I forgot when
I
Randy
will
Orton
say
got
they were
pile
way-
drivered in Buffalo. They literally had to have an ambulance come out to the ring. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was insane.
There were way too many pile driver kickouts on Saturday. Like, I mean, they don't
That's
really
fair.
protect that move.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like that's just gonna happen when you get the Young Bucks and Swerve and Osprey all in the same. ring.
There were
Holy
double Canadian
holy
destroyers,
kick
and
out.
Osprey and Swerve no-sold them enough to do a move, and then they lay down. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
I know. I know. Why can't it be Jacob Fatu doing that? Then it's sick.
Yeah,
Then
that it's
like-
insane. And
All gas, no brakes.
then it's insane, and he's
Exactly.
built. He's
It-
built different. You know what I mean?
Same exact shit.
Yeah. What? Come on.
They
boys.
hyped up and built up literally Jacob Fatu to be a guy that takes a lot of punishment. It's not
They
that's
ha-
not
they
Osprey and
ha-
Swerve's thing.
Oh no, they. You did.
Yeah,
J-
Osprey and Swerve don't take a hell of a lot of punishment and no
That-
sell it. Jacob Fatu does. They've established that.
Has-
They've laid
has
that foundation.
Jacob Fatu ever wrestled a death match on live television?
Those guys.
No, the answer is no. Exactly, just as I thought.
They've
Anyone
taken
got shout outs or
big
sign offs
beatings.
before we go here? Big night on tap. Obviously, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means.
Shout out to everyone chiming in. Great wrestling week. All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
Get me to MetLife.
The SummerSlam is upon us. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys, everyone tuning in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Instagram on the show where it is not wrestling with your budget. It is not wrestling with your conscience. It is not Maniac's Lunch with Aunt Sally. It is wrestling with emotion.
Batavia now is more, lots more.